I think this is it. I think democracy in America is over. I think there's been a lot of smaller things that have kind of led up to this moment, but if I was to draw a line in the sand, this would be the moment where I think it's over. We would no longer be a democracy. On April 29th, the Supreme Court decided a case in Louisiana, and they have essentially crossed out a big section of the Voting Rights Act of 1965 that prevented state legislatures from gerrymandering based on race. Their argument is basically that this is reverse racism. They have been, the Roberts Court has been super insistent on this like colorblindness, like, oh, you can't be like anti-racist or like racist against like white people. Like, what's up with that? Like, this is discriminating like white people and we can't have that, which is just ridiculous. But yeah, I think that this latest ruling is just like, it's gutted completely the idea that we are a representative democracy. For the longest time, especially minorities have not had their biggest say in elections. I mean, this Louisiana case was about an election. It was about the redistricting that they had to do because their arguments was, well, Louisiana is 1/3 black, and we only have one out of our 6 congressional districts that are like majority black. So the Roberts Court, in its idea to follow this colorblindness, all they've done is just weaken the Voting Right Act of 1965, and all this does is allow for these state legislatures to uh, this idea in political science of like cracking and packing districts. So what you can do is, if you don't want to give black people any say in democracy, what you say is like, okay, well, we see that like all the black people are like right here, but the state's like right here. So instead of giving them like one district right here, what we're going to do is like split it up 6 different ways, and they'll never be a majority in any of those. So they'll never have any say. This has just been like a trend that the Supreme Court has been on, where they basically want to like kill off their power. They don't want to have power. They want to say, okay, we see what you're doing, President Trump. You can do it. We are in complete lockstep with you. The Supreme Court shouldn't have any say in any of these sort of issues. It's so preposterous. Like, we have not a perfect system, but a very good system. The idea of checks and balances is like very good, but they're essentially like neutering themselves so that like Trump can have his way. And I do totally think that they are biased. 3 of them were elected by or nominated by Trump. And it's funny because every once in a while they'll disagree with him, and he's like, I can't believe it. I gave these people the power that they want, and like they're going all against me now. Because I don't know, Trump is an idiot baby child that literally you have to agree with him 100% or you're like his mortal enemy. And I do think this is them being in lockstep with him. I kind of don't know if this would have happened if the Virginia Democratic measure to redistrict that state would have passed. If you don't know about that, Virginia voted so that they could redistrict their state in response to Texas and a couple of other state legislatures that are looking at redistricting so that they can have more Republican seats in the House of Representatives. And now that's being challenged as well in the courts, which is just preposterous. It's like, pick a lane, It's like, oh no, yeah, we'll help the Republicans, like, and we'll not do anything like when it comes to them. But like when it comes to you Democrat states, we're on to you. Like, the double standard is so crazy because the Republican states like Texas, like they're supposed to do this every census. They're not supposed to do it right now because it's like we're in between like the decade. And they didn't like vote on this. They were like, okay, we're gonna rewrite this. We want to redistrict right now. What are you gonna do about it? Like, the people aren't voting on this in Texas. I'm from California. I got to vote on Prop 50, which was essentially like, if Texas does what they're going to do, we're going to do it back also, but only if they do it. So now we're redistricting. And yeah, I think this is horrendously unhealthy for the country. It definitely calcifies everything. It makes it much more that like these parties are going to be entrenched and stay here, which I don't want. I think the Republicans, I think their moment is coming. It's like they've fallen so far out of grace. I think right now is the moment for, I don't know, I think the left flank needs like a proper party. We can only have two prominent parties at any time. Stupid as Duverger's law. But hopefully, I was hoping this would be a time for like a proper left wing party, not like the Democrats, which are just like kind of left wing on some stuff, but then on other stuff they're basically Republicans. And, like they can have their coalition of stuff, and then they can be like an actual left wing party that believes in things like Medicare for all, taxing wealthy people, not glazing Israel, not giving them like an unlimited budget. It really sucks seeing how badly they've gutted this legislation. I'm a political scientist. I'm getting my master's in it. And a big part of it is just seeing how like the sausage is made and how much blood was spilled to get these laws onto the book. Literally like blood of like so many like African Americans that were spilled so that I can benefit from it. If you're not familiar, I would strongly encourage you to I don't know, watch like all the marches, the boycotts, see how like the cops just sicked like a bunch of rabid dogs on these peaceful protesters. I don't know. It's my opinion that justice, I forget that quote, justice like bends towards the right direction at the end of the day. But it just sucks, living in the moment. What I will say is like if you do live in one of these areas, one of these like Republican states, that's likely going to get like super racially gerrymandered now that basically any limits are off. I would make us think about it, the system thrives a lot because people don't care. So if we start caring, I think that would make the world a difference. I really do.